Well, 3LDC, we're a group. We have two sets of companies. Firstly, there is a consulting arm, which is Three Lines Defence Consulting, which I'm very pleased to have won an award from RegTech Insights. And we have a software arm, which is Four Lines Defence. Now, both of those feed very well into the current RegTech challenges that we're seeing at the moment out there in the market. For financial services firms today, I think there are about 5 key areas. I'd say automation, COVID, new norms, etc., all those things. Automation was coming along before, Autobots, monitoring systems, you know it. I think this is going to really move forward. And the problem is, the challenge is how to get it, how to make it cost effective and effective in terms of delivering what you want, fit for purpose. Fit for purpose then sort of drills down into the systems that people have got there already. And are they, in terms of delivering what they need? Then there's the status now, because people have been sitting there for a while and say, okay, do I need to refresh? Do I need a health check? Do I need to sort things out? And a RegTech challenge, is your system delivering what it should? Are the controls in place? And again, that's going to be pushed further by the new distributed working model. You're going to need to have something that goes out to your teams. You're going to need to have it in control. You need to have it sorted out, and it's a challenge. And of course, even though you say it's a RegTech challenge, I think the last one is people, because we've got to make sure we've got systems and an environment that works for them. Otherwise, you find they'll have workarounds. They'll have secret ways of doing things. So making sure we take the people along with the RegTech is very important. I don't wish to be boring, but when we say hotspots, I think there is a little bit of COVID, Brexit, and all the other things. There's been a little bit of a standstill, and I think part of it's we're going back to, which is what my answer. The other one, the previous question, is it's about health checks and where we are, getting those automated systems as being a hotspot as they develop the fintech aspects to it, making sure everything works in the new normal. Now, the first two obviously been delayed by, I hate to say the Brexit excuse. We're seeing a lot of opportunities arise because firms are coming back and saying, we've delayed, we now need to do something. That was also linked in with, there's been a big series of regulatory changes that have come through that firms have reacted to. MiFID II being an example. And now, people have been saying for a while, it's time to come back and look at what you did at the RegTech Summit last October. Again, it was a hot topic. People are going to come back. What are your systems? What are they doing? And making sure that works. And I think the other one, as I've mentioned before, is new normal. We can't get away with it. We're away from it, rather, not away with it. In terms of making sure you're set up. We, 3LDC, produced a white paper with the A team back in March at the start of COVID, saying, what do people need to think about? That was very well received internationally, and we were pleased, and obviously 18 was as well. We've got an up and coming seminar in September, which I'll plug, which is about working in the new norm, because it's gone from being this is BCP to this is now how we're going to be operating in a lot of ways because of all the changes. So the hot topic really is about putting that in place, making sure that they've got the tools for your staff to actually deliver for the clients. And really it's about adjusting the business models, and through adjusting those business models there are going to be RegTech inputs and requirements. So we've got projects running at the moment which is looking at market abuse. We've got how does that fit and change, does it matter, what is going on. The FCA has put out a paper, part of their market watch, saying people need to go back and look at how they've assessed their risks and what they've got to monitor those. KYC, AML. Well, if you've got people out of the office, you can't necessarily work on the basis they're going to send you all of these paper copies of documents. You still have to turn up at lawyers and with paper copies quite often. So how do you make that verification? How do you make the monitoring of the AML activities and things like that remotely work for you as an organisation? So I think we have a period over the next 6 to 12 months of adjustment. That's going to be based on what is not just the regulatory environment hot topic, but also the business model hot topic that's going to flow through. And I think you can't predict what's going to happen necessarily, but more of the same, to be honest. I think the answer is it's been surprising, considering it's a law. It's been in place for a couple of years now as such. There has been a lot less impact than you would expect. Big players, they got their act together early on, they got things sorted out, but they're now needing to come back and say, okay, well, we've put it in place, is it working? Back to the is it fit for purpose, health check type scenario. A lot of mid-sized, smaller firms, be it across the banks, the fund managers, and many other areas, to be honest, they haven't gone too far beyond their privacy policy. There hasn't been the drill down the back of what are my risks, what are the things, and people have kept saying, well, once there's a big event, everyone's going to sort of sit up and be aware once the FCA prosecutes. But there hasn't been as much take up as you would anticipate. So you'll go into many organisations and you'll ask them some basic questions. You won't necessarily walk away being completely comfortable. And I think that may actually end up with being legal cases at the end of the day, but that's another matter. And I think the other thing is about the confidential data and the movement outside the firm. It's great if it's inside your firm, but when you're trying to bring in, for example, the KYC documentation, your passport, for example, your driving license, bank statements, etc., that you're firing through, and it's going through on emails in unsecured manners. So things like that, mediums for communications to flow that sort of data need to be more secure. And it was a topic that again came up at the summit last October as to how do you make sure that things flow. And it's making sure that happens and that people feel protected. Because if your clients don't feel protected, they're not going to be clients for too long. And I think continuing that protection theme work, and back to, I hate to say it, the new norm on COVID, with so many people working from home, I'm doing this talk from home. It's, what do you do about laptops? The laptops, the other bits and pieces, making sure that the hard disks are all encrypted, sorted out, etc. That's protected because you've got the communications going. But then firms are going to be upgrading, they're going to be changing things around. What do you do about the old ones? How do you make sure the data is deleted correctly? And again, I think there's a lot of look back and making sure that those things flow in the appropriate manner. It's about making sure that the information security is built in to the software and the services that empower your staff to operate, because we're going to be, people say 50% of the people in the office, 25%, 75%, whatever it is, you're still going to have people spread around. You're going to need to sort it all out. And GDPR, it's almost like people hate that word. Call it cybersecurity with a GDPR accent. If it goes out and it's confidential information, whether it's sensitive or not, you're in trouble. If it's GDPR, you're in worse trouble because you're now into defined territory. So considering we keep seeing EasyJet having problems, etc., these problems, firms need to pick it up by the scruff of the neck, give it a good shake and get on with it, is my viewpoint. Well, 3 lines of defence group, we fall into the 2 parts as mentioned earlier. One, you've got the consulting. We won the RegTech Award for Best Regulatory Consulting Firm 2020 from 18. Took aid from Deloitte, so we're very pleased about that. And then on the 4 lines of defence side, it's software. So we've got 2 sets of complementary services to help clients. Consulting wise, we look after tier 1 and down, and it's about adding value by identifying gaps and helping them plug those holes. Be it market abuse, anti-money laundering, information security, GDPR, etc., and bringing together the team of experienced ex-C-suite consultants that we have to run the team. So it's about delivering a seamless service in partnership with the client. So that works quite well because it's about, okay, take a simple example, GDPR information security. An IT firm can tell you if you've got your firewall set up. Lawyers can tell you if your legal documents are correct. And somebody can provide you insurance. But okay, well, what's your policy in the middle? Where does the data actually come from? What do you actually do with it? So we help build all those sort of things around. Because we come from the industry, we understand what the industry needs, rather than be a consultant trained to be an expert. So we like that. It works well. We get repeat business and it flows. 4 Lines of Defence grew out of making recommendations, people saying to us, well, what software should we use? So we supply through various things to help empower. So be it down at the low level of organising your PDFs, having DocuSign associated, having all those things so that people can operate in a secure manner, whereas before they may have just walked down the hall and got somebody to do it. It's hard to do when you're in the distributed working model. So doing that, cost effective. We've built various things where we see in the new environments, is your network protected? It worked in the building, but what if you're all based, one's in Bath, one's in wherever it be. So if you've got them spread around, so it's about endpoint security and making sure that the whole network, including the laptop used by whoever it is based in Bath, is working correctly and it hasn't downloaded something that's a ransomware virus from wherever it be. So that's our C Hub suite builds around that, programs for looking at GDPR, market abuse, in terms of the risk assessments, KYC tools, so to help people work in a remote environment as well as in the office. And so we tailor things, taking on board best service providers as part of the service and things we built with them as part of the process, because we understand what the banks, the fund managers and the other parties need. And what else can we do? Well, we believe in thought leadership. We're always there to talk. We're always there to take part in events and present and work things through. We have, as mentioned before, the webinar coming up in September about best practices for taking things forward in the new norm. And we'll have more thought leadership things to follow with, I'm sure, the A team and various other parties. So really, we're here to help. Come and talk to us and we can chat. And as part of that process, we can help you think about where you want to be and what you want to do.